Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. It is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. The last show of 2020. I ask you to subscribe, to like, to share, and to comment. We end 2020 with a police action shooting in Minneapolis, Minnesota, less than a mile away from where George Floyd was murdered by police. Now, the immediate reaction was another Black man murdered by police when this story broke. And there's no reason for that not to be the first reaction. That is, as it is far too often the justified reaction. A statement from the Minneapolis mayor, Jacob Frey, quote, "We know a life has been cut short and that trust between communities of color and law enforcement is fragile. Rebuilding that trust will depend on complete transparency," end quote. That's an important quote because that quote is true not only in Minneapolis, but all across the United States. There is a rift, if you will. There's a lack of trust, and justifiably so in many circumstances. So there's work to do in this area. In this most recent case, the suspect did indeed shoot first, and police returned fire and killed the suspect without physically harming the female passenger in the vehicle. Now, her boyfriend shot first, and Breonna Taylor ended up dead. Two completely different circumstances, two completely different situations, except that there were suspected felons involved in both situations. It will be interesting to see if this suspect ends up indeed being a felony, having felony charges out against him. When we hear suspected felon pulled over, the phrase is used so often it feels like anyone with a certain skin pigment is automatically a suspected felon. And that's a huge problem. And we saw it in a video earlier, in an episode earlier in the week. A 14-year-old was automatically assumed guilty of stealing a cell phone, when in actuality the cell phone had been left behind in an Uber and was returned by the driver. That's how we end 2020. We end 2020 with COVID. I don't think I know there's not as many, and I hope there are not many at all, that still question whether COVID is a real thing. And there are questions about the vaccines, and more questions seem to be arising. We end 2020 with many not acknowledging that the results of an election are valid, and with the threat of violence looming. And we end 2020 with social justice, criminal justice, police reform, inequality, all at about the same place they were when the year started. Despite all the protesting, despite all of the activism, there have been very minor changes in a minimal number of places. There's work to be done before equality is an actual statement that can be made about the United States of America. Now, I try to be optimistic, but I have to be realistic. So celebrate tonight. Find something to raise a glass to if you're so inclined. Find something to laugh about. Find something to smile about. find something to be thankful for, because it's been a year of loss for me personally and for the country in general. So celebrate tonight, because 2021 is not automatically going to change everything or anything. It's not like we're going to wake up tomorrow and things are going to be magically delicious. No, we have to do that. We have to be the change. And 2021 is when it has to begin. Seeds have been planted. The ideas are growing. The righteousness of equality and unity are beckoning to us. So tonight, celebrate, because if nothing else, we survived. Just something to think about. It's the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Thank you for watching. I love you all. Wish you nothing but peace, prosperity, blessings, healing, and love. See you next.